Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. You guys must be thinking, what the hell happened last week, Guile? Well, the cast I was going to bring you, or I'm going to bring you today, was due to make an appearance last week, but I had to answer the door to the boiler man because we've got no heating, because the boiler's died, and we've still got no heating, so I don't know what the hell the point was there. And now it's half term, so I promised myself I would make it up to you and bring you two, but I'm not going to bring you two this week because, to be honest, it was hard enough bringing you this game today. I've had to send the wife out with one of my kids for an eye test that he doesn't need to try and find an excuse to cast this game today, but I wanted to bring it to you. Why? Because it's a little bit exciting. I got bored with the same old 4v4 business, the 5v5. I thought, I've been doing this for a while, right? I've got this whole casting thing down. I basically never miss anything of any importance. I mean, you guys agree with that, right? Yeah, I thought so. So I thought, why not do a challenge? I'll do an 8v8. Let's just have a lot more people and a lot more stuff going on the screen at any one time. It should be interesting. But anyway, all of that interesting stuff is going to take place on Adaptive Twin Rivers. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Ching, ka-ching. Here we go. And I'm actually going to slow it down right at the outset because we've got a lot of people to get through. Now, interestingly, if I just very quickly, actually, I'm going to pause it right from the outset. If I very quickly, actually, I can't do that while I pause. I have to start it because it's a stupid mechanic. So I've clicked on Turbo 2 up at the top here, and you will notice that actually the teams aren't bisected right down the middle there. The islands are basically split between the two teams. So one island here is going to be down here with Team 2, and one island here is going to be up here with Team 1. You could argue that this should be Team 1 because the first people up in the corner there are belonging to this team, so maybe that should be Team 1, but the majority of the people on the top are going up here. So this is still Team 1, and this is still Team 2. I would like to see an 8v8 where actually these guys are on different teams. You'd have to do something about the mass points. Surely you could do that with the adaptive map, because obviously this guy here has extra mass points down here. But wouldn't that be interesting if you could somehow like distribute this more fairly? Because you'd get like two mini games that would kick off in the first 2 minutes as these guys here and those guys down on the bottom basically have their own little war that kicks off immediately, and then they would result in a victory for whichever team. That would affect the dynamic on the mainland. I think that would be quite an interesting way to go. But anyway, now these guys are suiting up. Let's take a look at our players. Going first for Team 1, we'll start here in Elephantine Grey. Going UEF, it's Bully Dozer Noob. He's opening first land. Team member number 2, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Obi-Wank Anubi, if you're feeling really despicable. And he's going Aeon in Regal Purple, opening first and second land. Then back up on the plateau, it's Castle Yankee, or Castle Yankee, another UEF, this time in Volvo Beige, and he is going first land. The other rearguard air position plateau jobby for Team 1 is Stridge K, and he is going Aeon, have very sensible, opening first land in Baby Pink. Back down to the front line, we have Eco Noob, another Aeon. He's going Baby Blue, opening first land. And last for the mainland on Team 1, I did a double take, admittedly, when I first saw this, because I thought, yeah, interesting. Macron, fantastic. I did know that the French president is a huge fan of all things PC RTS, of course, and this being the foremost RTS game of, I was about to say of its time, but ever made. He is, of course, where he belongs. But no, it is not, alas, Macron. It is Marcon, but we're still happy to have him, bless him. He's going UEF, and he's opening first land in Spetsnaz Green. So those are the mainland players for Team 1. Their compatriots down here on the side island, it's narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion because they are so awesome. Here he is, it's Narwhal Power. He's going Aeon in Pontiff White, opening first land. And last but not least, it's not Taquito. He's pulled a fast one. It's that comical joker Farmschlet who's taken Taquito's colour and name on his AC. You can see he's still listed as not Farmschlet, but Farmschlet. Here he is. He's going Cybrin, opening first land in combat green. So that's Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2. Goodness me, that took a long time to get through. ACU's already on the move. We have Cabbage BBBBB, rather. That's 4 Bs, not 5. He's going Seraphim in Lurid Green, opening first land. Team member number 2, this time Vivacious Violet. This time UEF, it's Corsair 831. He is opening first land. Team member number 4, as we go to the rearguard plateau, it's Culture Barik Care 27, or Culture as we'll be calling him. He's going Aeon. He's going Electric Blue, opening first land. Next on the rearguard air position for Team 2, it's Postal. He's going UEF in Mellow Yellow, opening first land. Next up on the front line, going Seraphim in Cyanide Scion, it's MSG going first land. Last but not least, for the mainland troopers, it's Icy Nightmare going UEF in Burgundy Red, opening first land. And up here on the side island in Hallyborange Orange, first of all going Cybrin, it's Turbo 2, opening first land. And then, last but never least, my good friend Heaven up here, going Aeon in basically Bogey Green, Lurid Luminous Green, going first land, second air. So I'm not even going to go through all the different races and layouts. But what I don't understand, admittedly, so the two teams are like 40 points apart in ranking. That's pretty good over the course of an 8v8. But somehow that comes out at a whoppingly awful 85% game quality. That's pretty terrible. So this is not what FAF or Guilecast apparently, arbitrarily, I guess, considers a balanced game. But for all intents and purposes, I think it's not going to be too bad. So let's ramp it up. Guys moving towards the middle now. We've got labs heading down the left side of the central reservation, or a lab there from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've got to work on that. It's a family show after all. Cabbage moving in for the reclaim there with his ACU, and we have got a flare. Actually, a couple of flares heading south from Eco Noob. They were looking to hopefully pick off any engineers that might be going for that. They're going to run into an ACU. That'll be the end of their little campaign. Pretty sharpish. But a flare for Obi-Wan Kenobi does run into MSG's engineer. Happily going about his business of mechs construction. Won't finish that first build order. Basically, his existence was pretty pointless right from the outset. Icy Nightmare moving forward with his commander. How many comms moving forward there for Team 2? 1, now 2 there for MSG. It looks like Corsair finally on the move. And, of course, we have Cabbage up in the center with his comm. We got all the comms heading south. No, we don't. So Team 1 being a little bit more defensive, sticking their base for a while. Macron, I just want to call him Macron all game now. It's Marcon in his base. Eco Noob still in his base. Where have we got Obi-Wan Kenobi still in his base? Tell me, no, Bully. So all of Team 2 still stuck in their base with their comm. They're not going to make any play for territory right from the outset. They are sending a little bit of T1 spam south to run interference, but that's all it's going to be at this point. And basically that's yielded potentially an awful lot of mass to Team 2. Icy Nightmare could have got the jump on this mass field too if he'd headed out just a little bit sooner with his comm. But then you're not to know, he might have ran straight headfirst into a couple of opposing ACUs, and that wouldn't have been too great either. There might be a little bit of mass left for him anyway by the looks of things. One engineer to go, and all the big wrecks have gone, but he's got some T1 wrecks still left in there, which he can scoop up, plus the wrecks he just created, of course, by brushing aside that T1 garbage. It's going to be very interesting to see this dynamic. These side islands already under the control of various teams right from the outset. It's going to be a very different style of play from your average Twin Rivers game. 136 to 137. Very close indeed on opening mass so far. Differing ever so slightly as time goes on, but very, very slightly. Eco Noob finally advancing with his commander. But not a huge amount of pressure from either team in the first 5 minutes. So we've got Team 2 just advancing up here. And it should be worth noting, actually, for everybody, I've reversed the teams on their positions here in the UI. So Team 2 is listed here as actually what I've been calling Team 1. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I do it. Sometimes the map is just wrong. Guile is never wrong. That's a good rule for life. If ever I do misspeak, I'm actually just being ironic or joking. It's all deliberate and very well prepared and thought out. Gun upgrade on the way there for Marcon, who's going to be using his comm offensively in the near future. We'll be looking forward to that. MSG forward with his commander as well, doing very little for the time being. Icy Nightmare, though, engaging Bulldozer, who has a lot of T1 support with him. Icy Nightmare brings in his own reinforcements. It looks like there's a slight numerical advantage, though, for Bulldozer in the area. Bulldozer absorbing more fire on his ACU, though, than Icy. Now taking the odd overcharge as well. Doesn't want to walk into unnecessary artillery shells. That won't help his cause in the slightest. Down into the yellow there. 25% of his base HP whittled away. T2 upgrade on the way there for Turbo 2. Up at the top left. Very inconsequential for the game at large. Gun upgrade on the way there for Corsair. Another gun upgrade on the way for Cabbage. And another one on the way there for Eco Noob. So ACUs all down the East Coast tooling up for the forthcoming festivities. Bulldozer down almost to 50% now. But he has taken out most of Icy's support. In comes MSG, though, from the east with an awful lot of ground support of his own. Obi-Wan Kenobi now is in the area. 6 minutes gone. Things heating up on the west coast. What's going on up at the top here? A drop on the cards there from Castle Yankee. The transport won't make it back to base. Can he make anything happen with the Lobos? Looks like he took down a few engineers, but Heaven is on point with his commander, and he'll mop that up and prevent that from causing any damage. Meanwhile, back to the mainland, Icy Nightmare going toe-to-toe with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Meanwhile, Bulldozer taking on MSG. Bulldozer being very aggressive considering his depleted health. And he's forced to back up as he runs into a plasma cannon belonging to Icy. Bulldozer on 5,000 hit points. Icy on 6,800. Both UEF commanders. What's going on down here in the East River? We've got a couple of naval yards going up there for Cabbage and a couple going up for Farmschlet. That's going to be a crucial battleground. Whoever holds the river will be able to rain 7 shades of bloody poo down on their opponent from the river. Both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Bulldozer have seen better days, as has Icy. It looks like Team 1 faring slightly better, and now Castle Yankee bombarding Icy Nightmare from the skies with T1 bombers, 4,900 odd HP left there. MSG on around 9,000. Oh, but a lovely bombing run from Castle Yankee takes out almost all of Icy Nightmare's build capacity there. Meanwhile, on the East Coast, Marcon has seen better days. He's down to 3,000. Corsair's also on 3,000. This balanced on a knife edge. You get the feeling someone's going to go down soon. Interceptor fracas over the top of Icy's base. Skies being held by Team 1 for the time being, although we are getting swift winds joining the battle there from Culture. T2 should turn the tide if he can get enough of them operational in this area of the field. Marcon and Eco Noob advancing. So that early territory that was gained by Team 2 has been wrestled back by Team 1. Seems to have worked out well for them, just sitting back and using that extra build capacity in the base and then advancing. Mercy on the ground over here. Lots of Aeon players, lots of potential Mercy snipes on the cards, lots of commanders that have been beaten up. Nano repair on the way for Marcon. That's going to help his sustainability and help him get back into the fight. Corsair's got the Zephamp. He could do the T2 upgrade for a hit point buff. Why not? 3 naval yards in the bottom river online now for Cabbage. Soon to be 3 online there for Farmschlet. Neither producing significant numbers of naval units though as yet. Of course, Farmschlet can plow everything that he's got into naval production. Cabbage really can't. He looks like he's under pressure. He's going to have to help hold the front line against Eco Noob and Marcon with Corsair's help, of course, on this section of the map. How does it compare eco-wise? Farmschlet on 77 mass and Cabbage on 21. He must be power locked. No, he's not. He has no mass. In fact, I think he might, well, if it's not for Bully Dozer, he would be short stacking. But it's just one of those games. We don't have time to talk about eco at all. There is too much going on all over the shop, and I love it. MSG trying to get more T2 point defense online, just tanking Triad fire up here from Bully Dozer's emplacement. Obi-Wan Kenobi getting an upgrade, but what's that? That looks like Mercy's inbound there from Obi-Wan Kenobi going after MSG. Oh, goodness me. 1400 hit points and withdrawing. That position has been taken out. Portal though turning up at exactly the right moment to reinforce. MSG needs to run one more Mercy and that would have been it. Very unfortunate there for Team 1. Looked like they had it in the bag. T2 gunships down the bottom now, making a play for Cabbage's naval yards. And I think Farmschlet's going to have control of this soon enough. Cabbage cannot devote any resources over to naval production. He's sitting on 25 mass. Icy Nightmare advancing towards Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nice shield coverage there for Icy Nightmare, who's been joined by Culture. So both Culture and Portal pulling their commanders towards the front line to reinforce. That's good teamwork. What's going on over here? Sensor upgrade on Heaven's commander. Interesting stuff. MSG starting tactical missile upgrade. 11 minutes in. Lock up your mass points. Oh! Mercy snipe attempt and it's successful! Culture takes out Obi-Wan Kenobi. 11 minutes 23 seconds. And gosh, it didn't look like Team 1 were going to be the first to lose a comm, but they are. And it's one of their central players. They're going to have to act fast to get re-established. Postal already moving forward. You can bet Team 2 aren't going to wait around to step into the breach. If they have one thing to be thankful about, it's the fact that MSG is pretty badly beaten up. He's got the tactical missile upgrade now. He's probably going to want to sit back and use that for a while he gets repaired. But poor old Obi-Wan Kenobi bowing out early in a franchise. Who saw that coming? Swift wins for both Culture and Narwhal Power, tangling over the top of Farmschlett's vessels that have nearly finished off Cabbage's naval yards. A couple of 100 hit points left, and that is now naval supremacy for Team 1 in the bottom river. Bulldozer tried to get established in the top river, but Heaven's just going to balls out, go and cap that. He's airlifted his commander into the water and walked straight up to that, and he's captured. That's a free T2 HQ that is good to go. Bulldozer trying to get a torpedo launcher in there to try and harass the commander, but just a little too late there. MSG lobbing tactical missiles in towards what looks like the core mass there of Marcon's base. T2 mechs down. Plenty more where they came from. Plenty more vulnerable targets. T1 bombers in for MSG as well. Going for the clumped up engineers and the tactical missile defenses. Wants to maximize the potential of the upgrade that he got on that commander. 3 T2 core mass down there for Marcon. MSG on a roll. And if he can keep those TMDs out of commission there in EcoNoob's base, he can move on to that next. But look at this incursion from Heaven, breaching from the beach. And he can go straight after Governor production as well, and just cause no end of problems with cruise missiles there. Things looking very bad now for Team 1. EcoNoob withdrawing. Attack missiles inbound towards his base now. T3 mass extractor avoids getting struck by that volcano in the center. Got that operational in the nick of frickin' time. I think that's the professional classification for that timing. But EcoNoob has actually been given the remnants of Bullydozer's base. Bulldozer has just withdrawn his comm to the rear plateau. Where's he headed? He's headed right up here, so either he has to AFK or he quite frankly feels like it's over for him. Excuse the slight USB fails there in the background. That's absolutely horrible. Hopefully that's not too off-putting. Heaven under siege from a couple of Sparkies. It's like, I don't even need to kill you. I'll just grab your mass. Because that's the kind of guy he is. He's all about the capture and reclaim. And that captured HQ now spitting out cruisers. So EcoNoob, after being gifted that base, he's on 131 mass. At the moment, that's about to decline rapidly, I fear. And now, Sirens in that bottom river, operational for Farmschlett as well. Cabbage is going to be stuck in his base, and he's still on just 21 mass. And still not power locked either. That is an actual reading. Marcon has decisions to make. Does he yield this and consolidate up here? Cabbage, his base is going to be taken out soon enough. You get the feeling from Farmschlett. MSG going after the TMDs with more T1 bombers. Would have been probably worth just going straight after the T2 P-Gens. TMD's going to be rebuilt probably before a missile can do any damage. But he's launching them anyway. Volcano online again. See, if he'd have gone straight after one of those, he probably would have taken out most of the build capacity anyway, and that would have really assisted him at taking out the TMDs and keeping them down later on. Marcon advancing on MSG, who tries to force him away with a tactical missile strike. That does actually get him to back up a bit. Postal throwing down point defense up here. Triad on the way. Could have a bit of a UEF PD creep on the cards here. But look at this. Heaven, IC MSG, almost at the rear plateau now. Castle Yankee rolling out with his comm to defend. But look at all of this mass that's now potentially under the control of Team 2. A couple of governors in the top river now, taking out the mass points on the rear plateau for Castle Yankee. Oh, all of those out of commission. He's trying to get buzzkills online. Relentless pressure. I should offer the caveat that there is a desync later in this game. It does happen near the end and nothing changes, so please, once again, don't flood my inbox with desynced replays. But Marcon under attack from the skies, but a quick Twin Rivers two-step has him avoid all of those bombs in masterful fashion. Stridge and Castle Yankee quick to take those out with their ASFs, which they have in decent numbers now. Turbo trying to amass his own Geminis to contest. And Heaven is going on a mass T1 factory building spree. Rapidly becoming a no-fly zone for Team 1. This area now, as more and more governors get completed. I say that. That looks like a Control K and a reclaim for more mass. Interesting decision. I would have kept more of those online. I know he just wants to throw it in offensively, but let's see how far they can actually reach. I'm sure Heaven knows best. He usually does. If I can find his... Oh, there we go. Yeah, so they only reach into those 3 mass points anyway. Ostensibly the right decision, but look out, Castle Yankee. That's an enormous number of Spectres coming for your face. They lock on. Castle Yankee taking fire. Where's the air support? Here they come. In there from Stridge, ignoring the hostile fighters, going straight after the gunships. Castle Yankee in pretty good shape still. There's nowhere near enough gunships there from Heaven to risk, or for Castle Yankee to risk losing his comm, but that does essentially offer air control now to Team 2. Bulldozer moving forward just as Cabbage airdrops a load of Zooies onto the rear plateau, and we've had another airdrop from Icy Nightmare, who's thrown a bunch of pillars up there, unless they came around the ridge actually, potentially. It's one of the two, but so much going on. It's hard to keep up with it. Massive wave of T1 bombers outmatched now. Just got popped in one go. Icy Nightmare bearing down on Eco Noob's base, who's about to lose a T2 P-Gen. There it goes. What's that done to his power? Nothing. He's got tons to spare. Plenty of point defense in the base. Eco Noob still in reasonably good shape. Meanwhile, we've had a major point defense war going on here for some time, and actually looks like the UEF has not won through. That's a nice little fire base from Eco Noob. 4 Oblivion turrets, 5 Oblivion turrets up front with shield gen coverage from mobile shield gens. Those asylums. MSG forced to relocate, heading slightly further north, taking a little bit of fire there on his comm as well. Cabbage still locked in at his base, trying to repel fire from a couple of Salems left. So obviously we've had good work from the skies, from Team 2, taking out cruisers and the such. We do have one Siren over here. Might have been the one that was down here that has been relocated. The Corsair pushing Marcon back to his forward, well, I say his forward, his only production facilities now, near his base HQ, right near his core mass. Heaven now in full spam mode, with which looks like a good 5, 10, something like that, factories in this area. That maybe more, in fact. I'm curious. Let's see what he's got. 21 T1 land factories producing spam now, all headed to the rear plateau. They can take those out and confine Team 1 to this portion of the map. Surely they'll have this game locked down, but look out, that could be a game changer. Eco Noob with an experimental about 60% done, and so far that's the only experimental I've seen in production. Eco Noob with 157 mass per tick. Second to Turbo and Farmschlet, but no one else, so the third highest, so he should get that done in reasonable time. And because of the nature of the fragmented battle, everybody operating on their own smaller groups of units, smaller amounts of mass divided amongst a larger amount of people, that might be hard to stop. Stridge K throwing Oblivion turrets down on the entrance to that plateau. What on earth? Farmschlet with a tele-snipe. My bad, did not see the prep on that. Eco Noob completes his experimental, but he's taken out Turbo 2, who was the top ranking ecoer for their team. Strap bombers in for Postal, trying to take him out. He's trying to evac, and there he's going. He's going after Culture. Apparently it was well spotted, because Culture has T1 PD though. Farmschlet's going to have to evac. He's not going to make it away. He needs to move. He does. Oh, but he's in bad shape. He needs to teleport out. Where are those strats? Postal heading for him now from all directions. Farmschlet gets the kill on Turbo, but I don't think he's getting home. Eats one strap bomber down to 2000 HP. T1 bombers in for MSG, but it's the strats he has to worry about. He's nearly teleported out, but he's not going to make it. Farmschlet down at 22 minutes, having just taken Turbo 2 out of the picture completely. Oh my god. These 8v8s are killers. And there goes the top rated player for Team 1, having just scored a victory. But would you look at that? Experimental just running through the outmatched T1 spam and factories. Heaven on the run. got a little ways to make it to that aperture and get into the water to safety. Eco Noob heading straight for him with that Colossus. Postal hurling his strats in towards it now. Oh, heaven. Heaven trying to evac his commander, and a Lunar brought in. It's going to be in range very quickly, though. He needs to keep moving. Oh, no, he has to bail. He has to bail. In comes Stridge with the ASFs. And there goes Heaven with a Control K. He doesn't even wait to allow Eco Noob the gratification of getting the kill. The evac failed. Good work from Stridge. He lost his ASFs there to Culture, but it didn't matter. They shot down the transport. They were just about to pick up the comm there. And now MSG is stuck. He's stuck at the top of the map, having come up here to launch missiles and stuff from the top of the map on that comm. He's still launching missiles, and he's launching them at the Colossus. It has so many hit points to spare. MSG, he's surely doomed. This is a spectacular batting collapse from Team 2. MSG goes down at 24 minutes and 43 seconds. Oh, this is going horribly. But now that the naval yards are down for Farm Schlet, Cabbage is producing Zuis and sending them in at the freshly constructed naval yards there for Narwhal power, trying to replace the lost presence of his teammate on that side island. NG's brought in. It's going to get shot down by a Restorer. No, they're all offloaded just as the transport goes down. Question is, will they survive? I don't think they will. And another one rolling out, and of course that Colossus is still on the loose with about 60% of its HP, and Eco Noob's just built another one in his main base. Amazing in this kind of environment what the presence of a single experimental can do if placed correctly. Airdrop in from Stridge, a whole bunch of build capacity. He's now got a fire base online, and he's battling Postal for supremacy on this top left island. Farm Schlet still discussing, no doubt, where his snipe went wrong against Culture. It worked wonderfully up at the top left. Sneaky Cybrans and their dirty style of play. And now we've got Postal on an upgrade. Here, he's 77% complete. And he needs to get a move on. He knows the Colossus is there because he's bombing it with his strats. I guess he just thinks, well, it's probably over anyway. Why move the comm? Maybe if he can deplete it enough, he might be able to overcharge it. He has got personal shields. That's probably what he's about. And we've got Ravagers going up here for Icy Nightmare as well. One of them online. And he's just had a ranking vet on that already. So it's going to be a while before Eco Noob gets another one. One overcharge in. There's still plenty of HP left on the GC. Half, if not more, of his HP gone on the shield. But in goes another overcharge. I think Postal's going to get lucky here. It's going to be very close indeed. Down to around 33%. Needs another overcharge right now, and he gets it. He gets a ranking vet as well. But there's another Colossus right behind it. It's a spectacularly poor decision. He should have got going right from the get-go, and the second one's going to take him out. Unbelievable. No, the shield gen goes online. At just the right moment, he starts building a second one, but it's going to deplete before he can get the second one up. And down goes Postal to EcoNoob, who really is becoming MVP by nature of just building a couple of Colossus. That's all this game needed. 2 experimentals, and it's turned it around. No one else has bothered to build any. Everything else has gone into conventional weaponry. And now it's Culture's turn to feel the burn of the plasma weapon from the face. Shield down, it locks onto the comm. Oh my goodness! Boom, baby! Looked like he was going to get away there. EcoNoob says nope. Never in a million years. There's still plenty of HP left on that bad boy. And now it heads north towards Corsair. There's a lot of point defense under here. There goes all of the stuff at the back of the map. Corsair's next. Anything gonna save him? Nope. One comm after another dying to EcoNoob. And finally someone else built a Colossus, but it's another one for Team 1. And then there were 2, and it's Cabbage and Icy Nightmare left. Cabbage with, quite frankly, very little left to repel that Colossus, although the Colossus is very nearly dead. There's 14,000 hit points left on that experimental, and Cabbage is rapidly preparing his defensive as best he can. There goes the desync, but as you can tell, the game is pretty much gone. We've got a Tsar about 60% done for Narwhal power. Cabbage going to repel this Colossus. Maybe, maybe not. He's going to die as well. The Colossus finally bites the dust right at the end there, leaving Icy Nightmare all on his lonesome. Just getting his first, we suspect his first T3 power plant online, but no doubt about to face the full wrath of what is still a very well functional Team 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1 now. This game turned into an absolute rout with the emergence of that first GC from EcoNoob. Massive T1 spam heading in for Marcon now. A little bit of game freezing. There we go. Do excuse that. It's the age of my rig showing its true age. T3 engineers faring much better against the Lobo power, but that's a lot of Lobo shells incoming. They really need to focus on the engineers, worrying about taking out point defenses that aren't built yet, but the Percival's doing good work. They need to get in against the next GC that's rolling in for EcoNoob. And another GC we saw completed earlier from Stridge, not far away either. Oh look, and a nuke. Where's that coming from? Billy Nuke, perhaps. It's coming in from Bulldozer, who's airlifted himself to the rear plateau. Depletes the shield. EcoNoob's GC taken out, however, but Stridge is still very much there. That'll be the Tsar completed for Narwhal power. And there he goes. What a thing of beauty. And what a turnaround for Team 1, looking like they were under so much pressure. But it just shows you sometimes overextension, mass production of the wrong thing at the wrong time can cost you, and cost you dearly. Very well played indeed to all concerned, but especially Eco Noob for essentially building one thing. Well done, sir. Well, it sounds harsh. I mean, he held out brilliantly on this front line that held MSG at bay. This fire base that kept Postal out with all of the point defense, the UEF point defense batteries that were going on up here, and then got completely wiped. And well done to Farm Schlepp for your disgusting, dirty Cybran telesnipe that then got your just desserts with a strap bomb to the face. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. There's always more to come from me in the future. Hopefully, when school time resumes next week, we can get 2 in and I can compensate you for the lost cast last week. That would be awesome. Don't forget, guys, if you feel so inclined, you could support me on Patreon. All contributions are very welcome. They help support me and, by extension, the channel, and of course, on from that, the community as well. So thank you in advance for any kind donations, and thank you to all of those who currently give. Honestly, your support really does mean the world. That's enough from me. Until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.